Calm down, Alf.
Proud of your boy.
Let me hit that really fast.
Well, I'm being nice.
I know it's annoying.
The true name is Mother Effing Alf, but you know.
It's the motherfucking Alf.
Yep.
It's the motherfucking Alf.
Tell Dan it was Pope. The Pope named me the Mother Effing Alf. Uh-oh.
That's bonzo.com. That's bonzo.com. That's bonzo.com. Bonzo.com.
I'll be there in the morning. You can fucking try me, fatso.
Alrighty then.
Here we go.
Don't be such a fucking smart ass, will ya?
What's up, scums? I ain't speaking in tongues or a New England accent, long sounding dumb. I'm humming along with a genuine InfoWarrior. Reminds me of podcasting with Senior Escoria. My kin hails from Connecticut. There's a difference in rhetoric. Rhode Islanders are the nerds whose words slur. They're illiterate. I ain't talking gibberish. I'm speaking the truth. If it's asserted without evidence, it'll be dismissed without proof. A political wrestling star deciphering parables. Hailing from Central Falls, not Tiny the Terrible, it's Bionic Dan BiDondi, on key with a conspiracy. The ironic left-hand Ghandi being wary of imminent tyranny. Questioning narratives at press conferences, just like a Boston bombshell. Fledgling declaratives, Providence Senator accosting, go fuck yourself. Let us pray. Dear Yeshua, help us cheer up this country. Less sandy than a Captain Hook in a tub with rubber duckies. Facing subpoena for stressing alternative messaging. I thought politics was just like wrestling. It ain't. It's a reckoning. My guest on this tonight's show is former InfoWars correspondent who's recently been subpoenaed for his reporting on the Sandy Hook massacre. His name is the Bionic Daniel BiDondi Esquire. Sit back, relax, get ready for a doozy. Welcome to episode 196 of Bobby Pickles Podcast.
That's me.
That is me, baby. What's up, man? What is up? Dan BiDondi. How you doing, man? First of all, how'd you like my prose? Or actually not my prose, my poem.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Anything?
Proud Boys.
That's right.
Nice. Now, are you a Western chauvinist who refuses to apologize for creating the modern world?
Nope. I don't apologize for nothing, man. You know what I mean? Like, this is our country here, and, I'll be considered a nationalist, a patriot, whatever the case they want to put it. And, proud and guilty, if you want to put it that way. You know what I mean? We need to put our country first, and that's the job of a president to do that, not to cater to other countries. You know what I mean? If we can, yeah, but our people need to come first. That's the job of the United States president for 200 plus years, and that's what it's supposed to be. But the world's become so succumbed by globals. That's the Bushes, the Obamas, the Bidens and all that. So they, automatically they think we should be catering to the world when it should be our country first.
Yes, sir.
Absolutely.
But the thing I just said, what is it? What is it? It's our. What is it? Our. It's the Western chauvinist thing.
Oh yes, absolutely.
What's that? What's that? That's our motto
mantra
or something
motto.
like that.
Yeah, being a proud Western chauvinist.
Yeah. So, what do you think about the Proud Boys?
I think they're patriots, man, and I think if I love when they kick the snot out of Antifa. And I'm sure if they had enough forces, I mean, Antifa would be decimated by them because Antifa is a bunch of scumbags. I mean, the only time they could fight is when they sneak up behind you and punch you, and it's got to be like 30-1 because half these people don't even know what sex they are, let alone how to fight, you know?
Oh, yeah, you saw that video that I texted you earlier, right? The one that is being spread around right now, the one from Foley Park, New York City, over the weekend.
I didn't get to see it yet, but I know what time is there.
Did you not see what I sent you?
I didn't get to watch it yet because I just got done with my show. And
it was one of your brethren too. Somebody from Rhode Island originally. He's a liberal. He's a liberal idiot. His name's Brad Chatford. He's always on InfoWars as well, by the way. He always calls in. Yeah. But I'll tell you what happened. Oh, actually, maybe you want to see it really quick. Fuck it. Hold on. Let me see if I can find it. I don't know if I can find it right now. But basically, he's a liberal. He voted for Biden. He admits to voting for Biden, and he was at the park covering a right wing rally over the weekend in New York City, and then the Antifa members actually went after him. He's gonna be on the show tomorrow, but it got shared by Andy No and a bunch of other people. Trying to find it right now. Here it is.
He understands now the kind of people he's supporting.
Oh, well, he's not, he really isn't supporting them, but here, let me put this on. You saw this already, I think, Alf, right?
Yep.
Start from the beginning. Check this out.
I'm not provoking anything.
They eat their own.
Why are you throwing water at me? Why are you throwing shit at me? Don't touch me, man. Don't touch me. I don't want to touch your umbrella. I wish you would stop putting it in my face. Get out for what? I'm just a goddamn journalist.
Was that a threat?
What do you mean a threat?
Not you.
Look, guys, seriously, I'm not a Trump supporter. I'm a fucking liberal who voted for Biden. I just want to shoot some fucking video. What's wrong with you, man?
Like fucking liberals here either. Get the fuck out.
No, I will not get the fuck out.
Yeah, because they're straight up communists.
Yeah,
that's what they are.
They're people too. I don't have to like it. I don't have to like what they want to do. Seriously. No, I'm not going to get out.
Fuck your stupid ass President Biden too.
what's with the umbrellas? Is people like Mary Poppins or something?
Yeah.
I don't know what the purpose of that bell is, but whatever, you know. What's wrong with you guys?
Yeah, what is it?
What's that?
And they're supposed to be his own brothers.
Fuck out of here, liberal.
Nope.
Liberal, get out. That's a commie, dude.
Get the fuck out of here, and I dare any one of you cocksuckers to try and get me out of here.
If you dare, that's a provocation.
Wow.
What? He's standing in front of them.
I don't believe
He's
it.
standing in front of them and fucking with them.
You're not going to get me out of here.
He's provocating.
It's a free
Yeah.
country, baby.
It's backwards.
Okay. Well, then I'm going to stay here, and we're going to see who gets tired faster. And it ain't going to be me.
Now, see, my thing is you picking fights now. That's what you're doing.
What's that?
You're picking fights now.
No, I'm saying I'll stand here. I'll stand
But
here.
what they're doing right now is keeping you away from everybody that doesn't want you near.
Yeah, but nobody's allowed to do that,
Whoop,
so I'm just
sorry.
going to walk right past you. You can kiss my skinny, hairy, white Irish ass.
See, now
They eat their own.
put your hands on somebody.
No, I'm not putting my hands on anybody. I want to walk.
It's time for you to leave.
Nope, it's not going to be time for me to leave. I'm walking.
I have a
straight
question
past
for you, Bobby.
No, fuck this shit.
It's not working.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it is. Yeah, it is.
Don't do it. Don't do it.
I'm just walking past you.
Don't do it. Don't do it. Don't do it. Don't do it.
Out.
Stop. Out. Stop. Out.
What is it? Is this what country am I in right now?
You're in a country where we
Yeah, exactly. What country are we in right
You don't
now?
have to. You can just let me walk right past. You can just move aside. I want to walk over there, sir.
I'll walk you. I'll walk you. You want to walk around?
Thank you.
I'll walk you.
Thank you. I appreciate that, sir.
Where's the latest here?
So he walks him, around the side, but it's ridiculous. Why does he have to walk to the side?
Yeah.
What the hell, man? What is going on? And then the cops I don't know. I
know half the cops are scared to even do something. They do their job and they're the ones get suspended. and they're the ones who are getting defunded. And meanwhile, the useless scum FBI going after people waving flags at the national capital there, but yet they do nothing about Antifa and Black Lives Matter every day in this country, causing problems in this country. Destroy 160 federal buildings, police stations, kill cops, kill innocent people, attack federal agents, attack innocent people, $2 billion of damage, but yet the FBI, the scum, won't even lift a finger to do any investigations, but yet they'll go after true American patriots because they were waved in by the Capitol Police to come into the Capitol, and yet they're under scrutiny. I got friends, I was supposed to be there that day myself. I got a lot of friends who were there that day that right now they're being harassed by the FBI. Yeah, I mean, it just shows you the corruption of the FBI, man. They need to be abolished, plain and simple.
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely,
man. I was there. I'm not going to admit to anything, but yeah, I was there. And, I was there for my First Amendment rights, right? And
be the people's house.
It was the people's house. Yeah, it was the people's house.
And if I'm not mistaken, guys,
what?
They have actual video of the first people that were breaking in and breaking the window.
Quote unquote breaking.
Quote unquote breaking. They were basically all dressed in black, and some have been identified as Antifa and BLM. The DAs of all these different cities, not even talking about Washington, D.C., but Portland, all these cities, Chicago, they burnt the shit down, they get arrested, and they get let out the next day because the DA is not going to press charges. Yet we have Joe Biggs. What's happened to him? And you know Joe Biggs, Big Dan, I believe, from InfoWarrior.
He's been on my show a few times and down through InfoWarrior.
He is a true political prisoner, under this administration with no rights whatsoever and access to anything. It's like the Constitution be damned. And that's... We should have big rallies at the FBI headquarters or whatever, you know what I mean? Taking it right to the horse's mouth to fight, you know what I mean? The FBI needs to know. I mean, we should have all those patriots who were in D.C. march right to the FBI, right to them horse's mouth, and demand them. We're not leaving until you release these people. What you're doing, the FBI, is criminal and illegal. And you know what? This is what our Declaration of Independence is about. You know what I mean? When our government becomes tyrannical and the FBI is tyrannical, it is our job to overthrow their asses. Plain and simple. That's what needs to be done. The FBI needs to be overthrown and thrown in jail. The people at the top need to be thrown in jail for violation of the Constitution and violating their whole the rights there. You know what I mean? Like what's that called? I can't think today. Man, it's been a long day. No worries. Due process, of course. And Big Dan, also keep in mind that the FBI is basically the last. They said that the last 13 major, terrorists. The terrorist activities that they thwarted. They always had an FBI agent as being the instigator that has the funds, and he finds some sucker, and then it basically fills the guy's head up with a lot of bullshit, and gives the guy the resources, and then says, "Hey, man, guess what? We solved this crime." No, you didn't. You started the crime, and you said you solved it.
Listen. I'm gonna take control over here because
sorry,
Dan. I wanted you on here because I wanted to do a podcast with you. I find you very interesting, man. I've been following you for a long time, and I'm sure that you'll agree with me. Your approach is not very polished, but you're like a bulldog. The way that you attack reporting, the same way that you were a wrestler, and because
I'm not a perfect speaker, I admit that. I'm by far a perfect speaker at all. Mispronounce names, I sound like a stumbling buffoon half the time. But you know what? It's the message, not the messenger. You know?
It absolutely is. But I wanted to give my people an idea of who you are. So I really mapped out some of your stuff, and you have a lot of content. Holy shit, you have a lot of content. But let's start with your wrestling background. I just want to cover some of it. I put together a couple little montages to show because you have so much content out there on the internet. So this is first thing I want to talk about is wrestling. Let's just go in order of your life. And here you go. was good.
Yeah. Big D. Whoa, man. Dude. Whoa. Hey, man. No thanks. He's alive. Puerto Rico. Dude.
And BiDondi here tonight, New World Wrestling. It is your first match here in New World after you've severed ties with the Apex Corporation and Johnny Fabulous. And tonight, you take on your former tag team partner, Mr. TA, in one of the most vicious matches ever in New World Wrestling, a chain match. What's going to happen tonight?
Plain and simple, just revenge. And I live by two things, ground and pound. Ground and pound.
Ladies and gentlemen, here tonight, New World Wrestling, a huge chain match between Bionic Dan BiDondi and Mr. TA.
Dude, whoa. Oh. And you knocked the other guy out. We dropped him.
We love ref bumps. We love ref bumps. We love no.
Oh, look at that.
You got cocaine.
Oh no. There's Big Dan.
Heavyweight champion, Bionic Dan BiDondi. Ladies and gentlemen, his opponent. He
Man.
from Central Falls, Rhode Island. He weighs in tonight at 275 pounds. He is Bionic Dan BiDondi.
Whoa. Whoa. Nice.
Boy.
I love that.
I'm sorry it was so long, Dan, man. I know it's your life, and I wanted to highlight it because you have so many different matches out there, and I wanted people to see what you've done, man. And you're an awesome a state championship high school wrestler, and you turned that into pro wrestling, and it looks like you had a pretty long career in the New England circuit there, independent circuit. Yeah. You were in the you're a Class C state heavyweight champion for Central Falls. Then you did you work for Action Packed Championship Wrestling? Is that right? How many different
them and dozens of others.
dozens of others. A very interesting tidbit while I was researching you, I came upon Central Falls and Tiny the Terrible. Are you aware of this individual?
Oh yeah, you saw. We did a tour together. What year was that? We went on tour together for a whole summer. Wow, that was fun stuff, man. I tell you.
Well, did you decide to do it because of him? I mean, it's kind of crazy that he's from your school, from your area, and he was also a politician / wrestler, albeit a micro wrestler. He was like 4'11", Tiny the Terrible.
Yeah, they used him in WWE a few times too. But I know Tiny for all my wrestling career. I mean, we did shows together. We went on tour together. All kinds of stuff, man.
Hell yeah. So tell me a little bit about your wrestling days, man. Please. I wrestled freshman year. That was it.
That was that.
That was that. Yeah, that was that, man. So you got into
4 years of high school wrestling.
Did you do 4 years?
Yep, 4 years of high school wrestling, thinking that would help me for professional, which it did. I mean, physically it did, and it gave me a good edge. Because when I joined professional wrestling, I wasn't even out of high school yet. It was right after the high school wrestling season. Literally, like 2 days later, a day later, whatever, I met some professional wrestler. Told me about a school up in New Bedford, and the school is where a lot of the WWE guys were going to. So before they went to the WWE and all that. So I went to the school, and even before I'm out of high school, I'm training. I had my first match of May of 1999. No, 1994 was. I'm sorry, we can't remember so I had my first match. I wasn't even out of high school yet, and I just wrestled for this one company. It was Yankee Pro Wrestling at the time, and so wrestled them for 4 years, and then started going all over the place. I started wrestling from all over New England, all these different feds, and all over Florida, Maryland, all the New England states, of course, New York, just like the entire East Coast, literally. We're doing a lot of traveling. And one time I had a bag just for my belts, you know what I mean? Because I held championships in multiple organizations. And and plus being a champion, you're obligated to be at these shows too. So I was zigzagging all over the East Coast all the time, man. Me and my cousin, that big guy you seen in there, that was my cousin Mike James, Mr. Biggs.
Mr. Biggs is your cousin?
Yeah.
Oh, man. Yep. He passed away?
Yep.
I'm sorry to hear that.
Sorry to hear that,
Yeah.
Dan.
Oh, thanks. Yeah, me and him traveled everywhere, man.
Wow.
And we did a lot of shows, from Florida all the way up to New Hampshire, Vermont, Maine, Rhode Island, Massachusetts, Connecticut, New York, New Jersey, Maryland, out in that area too. We hit the entire eastern seaboard.
Did he pass away because he was so big?
No, actually, no. He was like literally before he passed away, dropped down to 170 pounds.
Oh my God!
He had an MS,
Wow.
so it literally ate him to the bone.
Oh my God!
So he went from this big guy down to 40, I think he was like almost at 500 at one point, and he went down to literally like 170 pounds.
Wow,
His mother lifted him off the bed. So yeah, poor guy, man. But he loves wrestling, and that's what we did, man. We eat, breathe, and slept wrestling. You know what I mean?
Yep.
That's what we did all the time.
Now, my family hails from Connecticut, but I grew up in St. Petersburg, Florida, Tampa area, and there was a lot of wrestlers there. Holy shit.
Yeah.
I mean, we would run into wrestlers all the time, man. The Big Show lived there. Hulk Hogan, Macho Man, all those people lived right around me. You know, my friend John Sajeski, he lived across the street from Macho Man.
Right.
And it was nuts.
Wow.
Yeah, they're just all around.
Time. I mean, especially when NWA turned into TNA, sort of. It was TNA, the Total Nonstop Action. They started getting big, and they based out of Florida, Orlando. So a lot of the workers would move down that way because, at the time they were doing 4 weeks of TV tapings in one show. So you went there, did 4 matches, whatever the case, and you had the rest of the weeks off. And unless you're doing appearances, that's house shows they call them. And so they all moved around the Florida area. This way, they're right there, Mm-hmm. And plus, Florida is awesome. I love Florida. I wrestled down in Florida a lot of times. I loved it.
Mm-hmm. Well, we're 2 idiots down here in Florida right now. We're in West Palm Beach.
West Palm.
So tell me about InfoWars. Like, well, how long did wrestling last for?
Segue, yeah.
Well, wrestling went for a while, and I came that close from making it big. I went to a TNA in Florida at Universal Studios. It got that close from being on the card and all that. And a friend of mine was a promoter. When I got there, he ended up turning the books over to somebody else. So I came that close from being on the card, but they were interested in me. I was like, it was the peak of my career. And right about the time when I was about to, actually become to the next level, I got to a head-on collision, which knocked my career out for like a good year or two. I mean, I fractured my clavicle, whatever. I couldn't even lift a 20-pound dumbbell, you know what I mean? And so it set me back for a while, but I think that was God, changing the direction of my life because
correct.
Right after that, I started getting into media, and it all fell in my lap. It was crazy, man, how it all happened. It all fell in my lap. Ended up hosting my own show on an AM station, and all of a sudden...
How did it happen? How did it fall in your lap?
Well, at the time I was into the paranormal stuff, and my uncle, I haven't talked to him in a couple of years because he's doing his own thing. He was the PR guy for American Idol for a while. So he got done with them. He come back to Rhode Island, and it's like, hey, he's a assistant manager at this radio station in Providence. So I'm like, he's still doing the paranormal? I'm like, yeah, at the time was. So he come on down. We're gonna, we want to put a show on. You know what I mean? So it was great. The show got going and all that. Then at the time I was like getting really into the truth stuff. And the night slots were wide open. And I'm like, can I just jump on and do a news show? He goes, yeah, we don't care what you do. It's they switch it to ABC.
This is
whatever.
Is it community radio?
No, it was
Premier. Was it Premier Networks with Alex?
At the time, it was the top 4, the fourth largest station in Rhode Island. So
nice.
So I got on the air, and at nighttime they give me a night slot to do Truth Radio, and it just skyrocketed. Yeah, I mean, I started getting involved with more activism, going to the State House, doing this, that, and the other thing. I had these officials from the State House calling to get me off the air. People, the airport police at the time, whatever, just all kinds of things. These entities try to get me off the air. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So my uncle had to get a lawyer involved, and we had to read a disclaimer. Then another station picked me up, 990WBOB.com, and I was doing 2 radio stations. Ended up on an FM station. I've been all over the place. I have tons of stations, doing my own thing too.
So your uncle was at that first radio station?
Yeah. He was one of the managers.
Oh, great. Yeah, you had help like that, huh? You had a family member help you out, huh? Oh, all right.
Yep.
Yep,
So
look at that.
I got me as a paranormal talk show host, and I started doing news shows, and that's where it skyrocketed from there. And I started.
Well, you're lucky. You're lucky to have that opportunity, though. From your uncle.
It was funny too because I was training interns from college. I never went to college for radio broadcast journalism, but I was actually training people to become a radio broadcast journalist. It's kind of funny, but it was pretty fun though. And a lot of adventures with that stuff. And then I started getting more active. I created my own chapter of We Are Change. It was We Are Change, Rhode Island, Valley Forge.
Oh my God! Can you please call Rudkowski for me and have him do my podcast? He is such a he's a difficult person to get to do something. But continue. Sorry. So
and I created my of course InfoWarrior was recognizing a lot of what I was doing. And they were, sharing a lot of my videos and all that. Then eventually the contest came along.
Yes, I want to talk about the contest. That's perfect segue for the contest. Let me show the contest video. You basically interviewed Ron Paul, right?
That was one of them. Yep.
That was one of them.
That was icing on the cake. The first one I did this rant literate. This we had in Rhode Island. We have this like monolith. Of it's an encasement of all guns and all that. It's a UN propaganda thing to disarm the American people. I did a huge report on that. They loved it. Then with the icing on the cake, Ron Paul came to town, and I got in the backstage. Ron Paul right away gave me an interview, and I asked him about the United Nations. He's like, well, I got the interview with Ron Paul, and that was just like the ice. They're already going to choose me, they said, but when I did the Ron Paul thing, that was just the icing on the cake.
Yeah, they really want somebody with balls and somebody who's like a bulldog, like you are, like the way that you go after wrestling, you go after the journalism. Hold on one second, let me play this. It's fascinating. I'll fast forward to
keep doing it as an InfoWars auxiliary reporter or.
I think that's where he was talking about that.
So even if you don't win, keep doing it as an InfoWars auxiliary reporter or start your own group.
Right.
This is so exciting. Great job, folks.
And I've noticed a lot of the comments, hey, I found you because of this contest. This is great. So we're making connections just by people making these videos.
And there's banners on the right-hand side if you want to link through and see the submissions and read the rules and stuff. And also, people can go to infowars.com/reporter-contest. In fact, I'll Twitter that out, too, for people, just in case don't wait. Do something the next few days. You could be the winner.
And you have time. There's plenty of time to, you could shoot the report in 20 minutes. And
again, there's two winners, one male, one female, 5,000 apiece.
Yeah.
But the point is that the people that win the money may not end up being the reporters. Just puts you in the running for that.
They may not want to move here, but we'll have a whole pool of other people we can look at and go, well.
And by the way, we didn't even mean to do that. Listeners pointed that out.
Right. Yeah, a couple of them said, I don't know if I want to move, but here's my submission. Do I have to move? A lot of people were asking, do I have to move if I win?
No, we can do something. We don't have, we can get paid something or have your own site or get a local sponsor, then we'll play it. They'll get business. I don't know. We'll work something out. Problem is we're so busy, we don't have time to haggle with everybody. You want to attack the New World Order. You want to be in the fight. Be an InfoWars auxiliary reporter. And again, we'll center that article for people so they can see it and get it out to folks. Okay, let's go ahead and play this first video.
Right.
Ron Paul exposes Agenda 21. Just a little note to our reporters.
That was a long time ago,
like that, because that's what he does.
Mm-hmm. That was a long time ago.
Yes, or Ron Paul. Agenda 21 is part of larger globalist takeover. Instead of getting to 470 views, now that we've linked to it, it'll get 10,000. Then it would get 100,000.
Right.
Because you got to actually call it what it is.
Yeah.
It's fine to have InfoWars.com reporter contest, Dan BiDondi interview with Ron Paul and Romney. That's great. That's a good headline. But no, Ron Paul attacks Agenda 21, something like that. Here it is.
Perfect.
Dan BiDondi, InfoWars.com. Yes, stand here with Ron Paul. Ron Paul, the question today is, what were you going to do if you get in as president of the United States? What would you do against Agenda 21 of the United Nations?
I'd like to get out of the United Nations. What I'd like to do is I wouldn't want to have any attack on our national sovereignty, and that's what Agenda 21 does. And I think it's a threat right now. They talk about currency reform because they know what we know, that the currency's in trouble. They'd like to do it under the United Nations. And I complained tonight in my speech that our president thinks you can go to war under the United Nations. So whether it's at 21, this is just a further step. And not only do I believe in local sovereignty, individual sovereignty, state sovereignty, and minimal federal government, I just don't think that we should put up with more loss of sovereignty through an international government.
Yeah.
Thank you, sir.
Got it.
InfoWars. Yeah.
The answer to 1984 is 1776, a giant banner.
You know what I like in the beginning of this? He's shooting himself as he's sitting in line in traffic going to see, Ron Paul. And he said, there's 2 miles ahead of me of traffic. There's a mile behind me. And we're all going to see Ron Paul. And he goes, I bet there's nobody at the Romney, speech. And they're both in Rhode Island that day. And I thought that was, it's great. And it wasn't masterfully produced.
He's taking action, and he got Ron Paul.
Exactly.
That's the essence of victory.
The point.
Resistance is victory. You may get your butt kicked politically 100 times. You're going to get tougher.
Right.
Yep.
You are the fucking textbook example of persistence.
Before Project Veritas, I was going to bring that up.
Yeah, I love it. I love it,
Sure.
man. I love it. I love your style, man. It is completely fucking uncouth and ridiculous, but you get the job done. Yes.
And it was like, one, you don't go with the flow, man. Like, you just attack it. You know what I mean? Like, when I went to all these press conferences, confronted all these people, I didn't go along with the press, what they were doing. I did my thing and what I felt that was necessary to do, you know what I mean? And other than just being a report, I'm here, I went along with my own protocol, what I had to do. And no, I'm not at all polished or speaking, but you know what? I will come after you like a bulldog, big time. I mean, I have guts, integrity, and everything else. And because of the scripture says, fear not what man can do to you. If God's with you, who the hell could be against you? Seriously. And
Correct.
That kind of attitude going into there, I could care less what the Secret Service is going to do, or the FBI is going to do, or Homeland Security is going to do, or any of their minions are going to do. I could care less, because when I'm on a mission, man, it's like, you know what? All I see is that straight line. It's like tunnel vision. You know what I mean? You care less what these people are going to do. And until I get my job accomplished, then I'm going to keep going what I have to do,
What's Alex like?
Oh, he's pretty cool. Real good guy. Like very high-strung. You know what I mean? And he's pretty cool.
He is, right?
He is on his show? It seems like that's how he is. His personality, at least.
Yeah.
Okay.
He's always like active, literally. So he's like, when I was with him like at least 6 days a week at the time, and bringing the crew out to dinner. Very, very generous. You know
Did you move to Austin?
Yeah.
You did.
Yep.
And what was that experience like?
Ooh, Austin.
It was different. It was pretty cool. You know what I mean? I enjoyed every bit of it, and I got to become some real good friends with Darren McBreen, especially, and John Bound, and also Rob Dew and many other guys and women at the office there. But the experiences, the friendships I grew with, and I'm still talking to these guys to this day. And it was an amazing experience. It was like a job, like am I actually getting paid to do this? You know what I mean? 'Cause this is what I did, by myself, and I'm actually doing it. I'm getting paid for it, and it was like, it's a job that you want to get up early and go to work. It's a job that you don't mind staying a couple hours extra. You don't care, you know what I mean? Because you're fighting the New World Order, you're doing something, you feel good doing it.
Yeah.
And none of that matters at the time. It's just like, you're there doing what you're meant to do, and it's like, at the same time, you pinch yourself. I'm actually getting paid to do this. This is awesome, you know what I mean? And to make a living at, So it was a great experience all the way around.
And is Rob Dew still there?
Yeah.
He is still there.
He's like the editor-in-chief. I tell you the truth, without Rob Dew, I don't think InfoWars would survive. The stuff that I can't, I don't know how he does it, to tell you the truth. The technical, he's like in the, the background, you know what I mean? He's the nuts and bolts of the operation.
And do you still contribute to InfoWars? And if not, why? And when did you stop?
The last time they did was with the hospitals, like when they were saying the hospitals were overwhelmed.
Like COVID?
I hit every hospital in Rhode Island, and they were all dead.
There was no one there. I remember that.
They were saying, hey, we've been dead since this whole pandemic started. Even though the media was saying the hospitals were busted from the seams. So I submitted a report, and it was weird too, because many other people around the country did the same thing, and they put it all together to show all these hospitals that were supposed to be overwhelmed, they're dead as a doornail. You know what I mean? The trucks were empty, with, no dead bodies in the trucks. The whole thing was a sham. You know what I mean? We exposed that. That's the last.
Yeah, you had a live video, Dan. It was live video. I saw that. It's just indisputable.
Yeah,
what are you saying, Alf? What are you bumbling over there?
I'm sorry. The last time I confronted Michael Bloomberg, last year when he came to Providence, they aired that on InfoWarrior. When I confronted Michael Bloomberg, I was like face to face with him too. It was funny. And I confronted Michael Bloomberg about the gun control crap, and it was hilarious, man.
So you were lumering, Bloomberg.
Yep.
Would you use that word, lumering, to lumor?
Nope, just waited for my time, and a couple of my friends went. They were activists.
But do you know what I'm saying, Dan? You know what I'm saying? The word loomer, to loomer. No, you know Laura Loomer, right?
No.
You don't know Laura Loomer?
Laura, no.
Oh, she's on InfoWars a lot, but she ran for Congress down here in Florida. She's the one who she basically, I don't know, she does what you do.
No.
She does what you started doing. How you drop in on somebody like that and start interviewing them, and they're not really ready for it.
Real journalism.
She did it, and then she coined a word for it based on her last name.
Well, this is what I do, man, and I'll bring a bunch of people with me if I can. Whoever wants to have the guts to do it. So what we'll do is we'll spread out throughout the place and strategically. So you have a guy way in the back, way in the right to the left, and all that. So basically, they'll get up and say something. It draws all the security over to them. You know what I mean? That's what happened at the Bloomberg thing. And also when we confronted Bill Clinton, too, they drew all the security over to the other side of the building. So it gave me time. So when everything calmed down, okay, when they kicked my friend out, everything calmed back down. It gave me ample opportunity to get a mouthful of words out to Bill Clinton and to Bloomberg and also Hillary and all them to get what I had to say out without being tackled by security. And it took them a while to get to me, and I got everything I had to say out. It was awesome. So we try to strategize these things because we need to escalate the rhetoric to that level. You know what I mean? We need to bring the fight to them and expose these people.
Yes, sir.
And these people are a bunch of clowns. They really are. And they gave me enough time to really go after Bloomberg. And I was literally about 2 feet away from him. And man, did I give him? I just waited years to be able to confront that SOB. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And it was such a pleasure to do that. And my criminal governor at the time, she's sitting right next to. That's Biden's Commerce Secretary, Gina Raimondo. She's right next to me, like on the side of me almost. And it's funny because it was all the people in the State House, and they were looking at me. They tried to kick me out before the event started. I'm like, nope, I'm a citizen. I'm a voter. I have a right to be here. So. The event went on, and I just went after him. It was funny.
Okay, let's talk about the Boston bombing, because that was the first coverage that you did that you really got on the map, I think. Yeah. Would you agree to that?
Yeah.
Basically, you said something to the effect of, why were the loudspeakers telling people in the audience to be calm moments before the bombs went off? Is this another false flag staged attack to take our civil liberties and promote homeland security while sticking their hands down our pants on the streets? Did you write that?
No, I just when
you just said that right out of your brain.
Yeah, when I go to these things, it's just I know the base of what I'm going to say, but how I'm going to say it just comes out. I let it come out from the heart. That's it.
Okay,
scripts and cards. I'm like, none of that. You got to speak from the heart. That's the best way to do it.
I put together another little montage. I hope, like I said, I'm trying to paint the picture of who you are. I think it's like 5 to 7 minutes, something like that. But it's the Boston bombing stuff and some highlights on it, so just to show people what you've done. So I'm gonna play that right now. Here we go.
Security footage of any of these explosions?
We are looking at all of that right now. That's one of the investigative steps that we're taking.
Was there any prior knowledge, Joe? Because according to BostonGlobe.com, they said they were doing drills this morning for the same exact thing that happened, according to BostonGlobe.com. Now, was you guys given any warning ahead of time of this taking place?
As I said earlier, there was no specific intelligence. We certainly increased our posture around a big event like this. All of those things happened in preparation for this event, but there was no specific intelligence that anything was going to happen.
And can you talk a little bit about what type type of device do you have?
The City of Boston is open and will be open tomorrow, but it will not be business as usual. It will be a heightened law enforcement presence consistent with the severity and seriousness of the ongoing investigation. People should expect those who are riding the T, that there will be random checks of backpacks and other parcels. And we just ask everyone to be patient with that inconvenience for the time being. It is for the public's safety. Here in the state, at the local level, and at the federal level, we are all coming together to do everything we can to get to the bottom of this.
The most important fact that I want to convey to everybody this evening has already been mentioned by Governor Patrick. The FBI is taking the lead in this investigation. It is asserting federal jurisdiction. It will do so through the Boston Joint Terrorism Task Force, members of which are comprised by all the members of the law enforcement agencies here represented at the podium. This will be a combined federal, state, and local effort. It will be an ongoing investigation. It is a criminal investigation that has the potential, is a potential terrorist investigation.
Have you take any questions?
Oh, sir, why were loudspeakers telling people in the audience to be calm moments before the bomb went off? Is this another false flag stage attack to take our civil liberties and put more Homeland Security sticking their hands down on the pants on the streets?
No. Next question.
You have said that there's no suspect, but is there?
I'm not going to confirm that right now. We'll have that information for you first thing in the morning. Medical people are compiling that as we speak.
Again, why were speakers telling people to be terrorism?
Extent of the injuries, how serious people are.
This is a very powerful book. Right now, that area that the governor outlined is our main point of focus right now.
Again, why were people speakers telling people to be calm before the bomb went off? I want to answer that question.
Currently in your search for additional devices, are you searching the entire route of the marathon, or are you focused on certain areas right now? Are there specific areas that you're focused on beyond the Copley area?
At this point in time, our focus of the investigation is in the area that the governor mentioned.
Why was people being told prior to the bomb going off?
Are there any other accounted for people? If so, how would you?
We're actually working very closely with the families right now. We're setting up a location near here that families can come to if they have any questions. The mayor's office has fielded many calls of concern. We're going through those right now.
Okay, remain unidentified.
That's it. Why was people being told prior?
9:30 tomorrow morning.
Why was people being told prior to the bombs going off to stay calm? That's a false flag, gentlemen. Just to put more TSA on the street to rob our civil liberties. They're going to get those bomb drills Monday morning. We got photographs on InfoWarrior.com, folks, of contractors, private contractors that were at the site of the bomb scene right here.
Are both suspects seen planting these devices at the finish line of the
Do you have
any information on what? Sir, can you address there were pictures today in newspapers all over the country, including the New York Post, that identified two men as potential suspects. I'm just wondering what it does to your investigation when things like this get out and these guys are wrong.
I think I addressed that. No, thank you. I think I addressed that question in my statement by saying the only official photos that should be officially relied upon in this investigation are those.
InfoWarrior.com. We're aware of the lies. We're going to expose your lies.
Again,
the world is aware of false flags. Okay, we're not afraid. Okay, we got a constitutional right. We know about the false flags. Okay, we're aware of it. InfoWars.com.
He's an American citizen.
That's right.
We still have a constitution.
Go on InfoWars.com. You see contractors, private contractors, folks, with black backpacks.
Show them the rooftop photos.
They were on the rooftops. They were all over the bomb scene, folks.
So you're saying these are the suspects?
The three suspects on the roof.
Contractors hired by our own government folks. Right here, InfoWars.com, you can see the pictures. Those are lies. They deported the Saudi guy right away. The Saudi suspect was deported right out of there.
I think that's disturbing. Look at this. Governor Deval Patrick, Commonwealth of Massachusetts, having a press conference. Roll tape.
Is this another false flag stage attack to take our civil liberties and promote Homeland?
They never answer any questions.
No. Next question.
Dan, good job getting your question into the governors and others. No doubt you shut down their press conferences. What can you tell us about behind the scenes, Dan BiDondi?
Since I asked a question, I asked it again, and they wouldn't answer the question, and I got the look of death from every federal agency that was there, the government officials, everything, and
I do it away. I grab my camera quick, as soon as the press conference is over, because the woman gets right on the stage. This is the end of the press conference, and everybody's gives me the look of death. So I grab my equipment and I jet it right out of there.
Now, that's not a joke. That's a real talk show host and this idiot in a car. And that they're saying is it's an inside job. The U.S. government bombed the people in Boston. Right.
The talk show host is Alex Jones. He's a conspiracy theorist. He's kind of like the guru, the king of the conspiracy theorists. Mm-hmm. And he's been on the air since day one saying that this is a job of the FBI. It's a false flag job. You heard the reporter question as to whether it was false flag job, meaning, is this just, they're twisting it around to make it look like it's something else, another entity, but really is the government. It's so sick, and this guy's an idiot. And, the people at the press conference totally ignored it. I think that they didn't throw him out.
I think that this internet stuff with this access now that people have has made more crazy people. Because people who are borderline crazy now go in there and become crazy.
You can get your crazy opinion heard. And this guy's on 60 stations, AM, FM. He's on the internet, and he's got a lot of followers. He's got a big website. Yeah. He's considered legit among the crazies.
There you go. Juliet Huddy, everybody. Thank you.
What happened to learn? There were some real surprises in there.
I think, Aaron, that when they announced that there was going to be a suspect, but when they got to suspect number 2, there was an audible gasp in the room, because that told a lot of us many things. That, number one, this was not just a lone wolf kook who wanted to get some attention, but there was a plan going on, and this clown was in the news conference too, kind of bothering things. But they have a plan. 2 people thought it was a good idea, to make these bombs together, to deliver these bombs together, to then possibly have a getaway plan. And I think that's what a lot of the investigators will be looking at. Calmly they did it. They weren't suicide bombers. Whatever cause they had, they weren't looking to die for that cause. So we'll have to figure out exactly what was going on. But the fact that there are 2 suspects means there's a lot of planning.
Right. And that made you feel that there was just the 2 of them. There could have been more.
No one
in terms of planning.
I'm going to go ahead and step away from this.
All right.
Yeah, well, they can't read because they're robots.
We'd like to ask you guys, please leave our chat. We'd appreciate it.
You report the real news.
It's true.
All right. Well, Drew is dealing with that. That person was causing some issues during the press conference today. I want to bring in FBI profiler John Douglas into the conversation.
FBI.
And counterterrorism expert Jeff BiDondi. Thanks to both of you for taking the time. And Jeff, I want you to take a look at the pictures again. You've been looking at them again and again and again. What stands out to you about these men in particular? I mean, they are young. Yes. They're white. They're very confident. They kind of look like college kids.
Or white.
Well, I hate to say it, but the possibility evidence exists that perhaps they're former military who have some experience with these pressure cooker bombs because they've been to Afghanistan, etc.
Proud of your boy. Look at you, man. Oh my God, it's hilarious, dude. I love you, bro. You're awesome. So you were out there and you were doing it, man. Why are you not working for InfoWarrior still? You don't want to? You want to do your own thing?
No, came issue. My family didn't want to move to Texas, and came one of those things because the time my son was only 1 year old, and it's like 6 months. I was like, I flew to Rhode Island to see him with my girl, but they didn't want to move to Texas, so it became one of those issues.
But it's the place where everybody's moving to now. Everybody's moving out of these Democratic strongholds
and Florida,
and they're moving, to places like that, But are you still connected with Alex or whatever?
Not really. I mean, I'm not officially employed with them or anything right now.
Yeah.
Yeah,
all
I
right.
do my own thing mainly, but they like something they see. They put it on their channel.
I love what you do. What's a crisis actor?
Crisis actor is basically if you just say, and I've been a crisis actor myself.
You've been one?
At the airport, for example. When I worked at the airport, to simulate a plane crash, right? They would have, you call a crisis actor. You lay on the ground, you get a little note on you. The note will tell the EMT if I got a lacerated leg or whatever, you know what I mean? So the EMT would come up to you and practice the procedures to, handle that kind of thing. So a crisis actor is in that simulation. So a crisis actor, what the government uses, they'll stage something. That's like a mass shooting or whatever. And the people that apply to the ads of the crisis actor, they'll come, act, they'll roll out. And again, they'll tell you, the coordinator will come up to you and say, hey, here you go, here's your card. You're going to be, you're a guy, you lost your arms and legs, whatever the case, and they'll put that on you. And so you just lay there. That's it. And the EMTs respond to that. And where if you're a shooter, whatever the case, and so that's what crisis actors are.
You're saying firsthand about being a crisis actor.
I've seen the ads.
Yeah, when I worked at the airport, I was one a couple times when they did plane crash simulations.
Okay, interesting.
So the fire department would roll out like real life if it was a real incident. But as far as those crisis actors, I never took part of those, but that's when they have people come in. And they'll use paracollegiates, so people who lost limbs in the service and everything else, and they'll use them in the crisis to do, to act them out. And I think the Boston Marathon bombing thing, that clown Jeff, I forgot his last name, whatever the case, the guy in the wheelchair, complete fraud, plain and simple.
He was
Jeff Bauman, yeah. He didn't get his legs blown off. There's no way possible.
Are you sure?
Yeah, just like right here, just say I'm Jeff Bauman, right? Between me and the bomb, right? There's loads of people, right? Bomb goes off, right? It killed some little kid, whatever the case. But between me and the bomb, there's a bunch of people, and I'm the one getting my legs blown off. Then here's the thing, like at first I bought into it. Then my friend, who's EMT, he was a medical EMT inside the military, and he goes, "There's something weird about this." He goes, when we treat people he goes, I've seen people with their legs blown up. They're screaming bloody murder, and they literally pass out within a minute or two. You know what I mean? This guy's sitting up in the freaking wheelchair. The stint falls off, no blood, nothing. Sitting up in the wheelchair, all calm and collective, and they say, "Oh, shocked." But 6 minutes later, 7 minutes later, he's being pushed down the road in the wheelchair with the guy with the cowboy hat, and just sitting there all nonchalantly, all calm. And I interviewed many medical people after that. I didn't bring up the Boston bombing. So what's the procedures if somebody gets their legs blown up? They says 2 major arteries in each leg. You need to immediately lay them down, elevate the legs, and put a gurney on them. A tourniquet on them.
A tourniquet.
If not, they're going to lose their blood and die. And if you don't get them to the hospital or treatment within minutes, literally, they could die and lose their blood. I said, well, what if you put them in a wheelchair? And they were like, no, that's dumb. Because all the pressure would cause the blood to come out, even with tourniquets on. You don't do that. You elevate them, put them on a gurney, elevate them, and keep their legs up, whatever the case. So here you are, 6, 7 minutes later, sitting in the wheelchair, all calm and collective. You can see the tapes. It's crazy. All calm and collective. The guy in the cowboy hat. They made this historic hero story out of this thing. And the tourniquet falls off Jeff Bauman's leg, and you don't see one drop of blood on the ground. It should have been a nightmare, you know what I mean? And in the pictures, you see this woman laying on top of his legs while they're getting the prosthetics off. And come to find out, a lot of people believe he was a crisis actor, paracollegiate crisis actor. And they said, I don't know if it's true or not, but he served in Afghanistan and got his legs blown off in 2011. But regardless, those are phony prosthetics they put on him. And no way in hell, one of the stories, I got tons of military in my family, and all of them said, they said, I don't buy into the conspiracy stuff, but I'm telling you one thing. When you get your legs blown off or a limb, okay, if there's no action done, you're not just going to sit up there in a wheelchair. 8 minutes later, you're still having the bed.
Oh, my God. It's like the fucking moon landing, but I'm not going to get into that because that will derail the whole conversation.
Jeez.
But
April
17, 2013, you were on prisonplanet.com, and there's a report. InfoWars reporter Dan BiDondi was on location at the Boston Marathon explosion press conference minutes after the event and managed to get in some hardball questions for Boston Police Commissioner Edward Davis and Massachusetts Governor Devil Patrick. Dan specifically asks whether or not Boston PD had info about a drill taking place, to which the police commissioner replies they had no specific intelligence regarding a drill. So when you were, that whole montage I was playing, right? How many press conferences did you speak up at?
3 in total.
3 in total? Did I have all 3 on there?
Yes. What happened was, there was supposed to be 4. So the first 2 you seen, right, when I addressed about the false flag, then the loudspeakers and all that. So what happened was the FBI, the second one, they closed with we're counting everybody's videos and pictures we need. If you have any videos and pictures, send them to us. We need to examine them. So during that time, that's why they postponed the last press conference to another day.
So that's why you had the pictures.
Yep.
Yeah, that was a couple of days after, because if you heard them, the fireman saying tomorrow morning, 9:30 a.m., And the second press conference you played, 9:30 tomorrow morning, 2 a.m., that was canceled. That was postponed because right away Alex went on the air, showed the pictures, showed the videos and everything else, and the FBI completely did a 180 when they came back on the third press conference. And mind you, they left the press conference. We need people's pictures and videos. When the third press, they started right off. I just want to let you know we're not going to rely on anybody else's pictures and videos but what we have. Total contradicting what they said when the left one. And it was crazy, right? I was sitting I went there early, got on the front row, right in the front row. I had some clown in back of me, and he comes up. Well, first of all, there's a reporter back behind me. This guy comes up and he goes, "Hey, I need your seat." And he goes, "Well, I was here first." And he showed him his badge, and the guy got up. You know what I mean? So he had an FBI agent sitting right behind me, monitoring every little thing I did, and I could hear him talking to the other guy. And so my friend, he was showing up late. He lives in Boston, so he ends up coming right before the press conference starts. He gives me a package. And all these 8x10 color photos and everything. Right away, the guy behind me jumps up. That's the guy you see in the video with the clipboard trying to block me. Mm-hmm. He's a Fed, not a reporter. So he, when I got the package of photos, he jumped off his chair, ran in the back. I could hear him in the hallway yelling, "He's got pictures, he's got pictures." So the woman comes out, and the director, she goes, "Excuse me, ladies and gentlemen, press, we're going to delay this about another 10 minutes. We got new information." And I started laughing because I knew exactly what that information was. So the first thing they address is don't listen to anybody else's, don't pay attention to anybody else's pictures or videos but mine. And I seen the feds walking around all around the building, right? They were going to all the cameramen. And my friends back there, they didn't know he was with me with my camera. They were sitting there laughing, right? Because I could hear them in my headset. Yeah. And they're telling everybody, it's like, if he speaks up or anything, paying the cameras away from him, don't pay him no attention. So they knew exactly what I was going to do. You know what I mean? And they had this whole thing planned. But the foreign press, you know what I mean, they didn't buy into that. You know what I mean? Like the BBC and all that. There's hundreds of reporters in the room from all over the world, literally all over the world, reporters there. So, and as you've seen, like, they shut the press conference down because I was showing the pictures. I got swarmed by the feds, as you've seen. And when the foreign press came over to see what the hell was going on, what I had, the feds backed off me, you know what I mean? Because they didn't want to be caught on camera. And I'm showing the pictures with, InfoWarrior, the servers are blowing up. It's crazy, man. People, hundreds of thousands of hits a minute. They were getting on their servers and everything. And people going to InfoWarrior to see what these pictures were. And false flag was the #1 trend. When I mentioned false flag, that was the #1 trend worldwide on Google. Yep. False flag. We put false flag on the map, literally. You know what I mean? And a lot of history went down that day. And there's a lot of stuff that went on in between that. With the Oath Keepers, which I'm a civilian member of, they were.
You're a member, Dan. You're a member of the Oath Keepers?
Yeah, not official, but
not official. Oh, okay.
Oh, you are?
My good friend Randy runs the Rhode Island Oath Keepers, but they had the annual rally at Lexington Concord Green, April 19th, the first shot heard around the world. Okay. So that was that annual. That's where the National Oath Keepers all met, and they pulled the permit. You shouldn't need a permit for that. No. But they told the Oath Keepers you can't be there. You know what I mean? It was crazy, man. We were there anyway, but they told us we couldn't go on the green at all, and if you did, you'd be arrested. And all kinds of stuff went on that week, man. They were targeting the Tea Parties at the time, all Patriot groups, the IRS, remember that stuff? All that stuff was going on, and that game Rainbow Six came out saying that Patriots are terrorists. You know what I mean? It was a huge attack on that. And they were going to the whole thing with these guys, the Senior brothers. They were Plan B. They were going to go after my friend Dave Kopaz. He's a huge political leader, GOP political patriot leader in Massachusetts. They tried to pin him, the whole thing on him. The FBI kept calling him, saying, "We need you at the Boston Marathon." He goes, "Why the hell would you want me there?" You know what I mean? He was very scared about this. Then they asked him, they encouraged him to go because we believe that they're going to pin it on him because the first guy they caught. Remember the white guy, the long hair, looked like a typical Tea Party person? Yeah. And it ended up turning into the Saudi guy, which they deport, right away. They brought him to Mass General Hospital because the people beat him up literally. Yeah. And Michelle Obama flew in, and all of a sudden the FBI stopped talking about it. They flew him right out of the country right away, and all of a sudden the last plan was to go with the Senior brothers. Of course, the whatever link they have to Al-Qaeda, whatever the heck it was. Correct. And then I did some reports out in Watertown, man. Nuts, man. The people that were in the middle of the crossfire and all that, the citizens were like, there's no way in hell possible that the younger brother got through that wall of police. You know what I mean? And it was eyewitnesses that were watching this whole thing happen. And they told me right out, with they say the younger brother ran over the older brother. No. The police ran him over. The police did, not the older brother, younger brother. I'm sorry. The police ran him over, and literally when they moved the truck, they literally executed him on the ground. And the kid somehow got away and went to the boat and everything else, and somehow managed to write his confession letter in blood. In the dock boat, ridiculous stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But none of them had anything to do with the Boston bombing. And that backpack, we pointed out, that guy, when I was both on CNN and all them, they had FBI officials to try to snow us, to tell us, because we seen the big black backpacks. They try to say they took the canister, put in the big black backpack, and took the big black backpack and put it in the medium white backpack. It's like saying I could fit my computer over here, my big gaming computer in my pocket. You know what I mean? Thinking people got to buy that, because we pointed out, as I'm doing this stuff, Alex and them, the crew, working all night and day, putting out videos and shows. As I'm doing my stuff in Boston, we were hammering the hell out of the mainstream media. Then Anderson Cooper comes out, calls us a liar, Ron Paul a liar, and they send me out to Watertown. Completely proved them, disproved them. We really hit it to the mainstream media, man. And we really punched the New World Order dead in the face, because they're going to use this crisis to go after the Patriot groups. That was the whole plot about
the
this.
excuse.
And of course, when everything failed, they had to use their backup plan, which is the old classic terrorist thing with the Sardinov brothers.
Well, I gotta say though, nobody really even knew that word false flag. It wasn't even in the mainstream media until you bellowed it at those press conferences, right? Mm-hmm. And all of a sudden, like I was showing on the screen right here, all of a sudden you started seeing like the Atlantic. They wrote an article about you, and that's a mainstream source. Then the Guardian, the UK is the Guardian. Look at that. That's a mainstream source right there. They're talking about false flags. Now, what's up with false flags? Tell me about false flags really quick. What's a false flag? I think it came from ships used to fly a different flag, so they can sneak up on people.
That was a Gulf of Tonkin incident when they wanted the American people to support them going to Vietnam. American people said, no, we have no reason to go to Vietnam. So what they did is they disguised a North Vietnam, one of our ships, painted it, the North Vietnamese flag, everything else, is the term false flag comes from, as a North Vietnamese ship that literally blew up one of our ships, killed over 100 of our sailors, and the whole time it was high levels of Navy that killed their own people. And then the news reports next day, 110 soldiers, I think it was, 110 soldiers, sailors, died. We got attacked by a North Vietnamese ship. Next thing, everybody in this country wanted blood. And that's how we got full support to go to war. But the thing is, this has been happening for thousands of years. Hitler did the same thing. People said, we have no reason to go to war with Poland. What did he do? In 1933, he burned down his own Reichstag building. Nero couldn't stand Christians. He staged all these little fires and attacks, blamed it on Christians.
Burned them alive.
And this goes back for thousands of years. And what they do is basically the pretense of false flag is basically it's the old Hegelian dialect, the problem, reaction, solution, order, chaos.
Correct.
It's like if you want people to accept something, you create the crisis, and you already have the solution and plan. So regardless, in the false flag, sometimes it's fake, sometimes it's not. And the thing is with a false flag, if real people die, like the Boston Marathon, yes, that little child died, it just highlights their agenda.
Okay, what about Sandy Hook? Sorry for cutting you off. Now, what about Sandy Hook then?
Sandy Hook?
Yes.
Oh, yeah, that thing was crazy, man.
Did it happen?
I don't know. To tell you the truth.
Is it a false flag?
I have no, to be honest, because I was down that road too. And I'm like, you know what? It's like, what if kids die? What if they didn't? You know what I mean? And I'm not going to question if kids die anymore, because regardless, my point is that when I got involved with it, I was going down that rabbit hole. Then I'm like, you know what? The whole thing about the whole thing is the gun rights. You know what I mean? And these people are attacking the very gun rights that would have saved those kids' lives. The thing is, I wasn't there. I don't know what really happened. You know what I mean? I have my questions. Absolutely. I have my questions about that, and I don't trust the whole official narrative, but I don't know if kids died or not. And it wouldn't put it past me if these people allowed this to happen, the officials that were behind us, because, again, real casualties highlights their agenda even more. And the first thing, not even hours, they had senators and representatives from Connecticut calling for gun control. And the kids' bodies weren't even cold yet, if that's the case. They weren't even cold yet, and they're already out there calling for gun control and everything else. And it's kind of strange, it really is. And we know the whole thing is about attacking your Second Amendment rights. That's what it's about. They got lawsuits going on now, and like they got me in there, like with the subpoena, after going to September to testify, whatever the case.
Yeah, I have the subpoena right here. Let me show that.
And of course, it comes out of your pocket, Dan. This is ridiculous.
Yeah.
Can I show this?
Yep.
Yeah, I hope not. I hope it doesn't have anything on there that you're going to get doxxed or something like that.
Pertinent. No.
I don't know.
I don't care. I'm transparent anyway. If I got to take time out of my time to come up and answer questions, and I have nothing to lie about. I did nothing wrong. I was a reporter, well within my First Amendment rights to ask questions and cover the FOIA, the Freedom of Information Act hearings. That's what it was about.
Mm-hmm.
And
how many?
Kicked my ass.
How many? I'm sorry for cutting you off again. I'm retarded. How many reports did you do on Sandy Hook?
Several.
Several. What's up with this guy, Wolfgang Halbig?
He was he worked for the federal government. Actually, he was a school safety consultant. He was at Columbine. He was at a lot of these mass shootings at the schools and all that. And he was telling me right out, he goes, I've seen all this crazy stuff, man. I've seen guts, blood, and everything else. And he went to Sandy Hook. He investigated, doing his job, and he come up with a lot of things that were like, all right, this ain't right. This is, something's wrong about this. He asked a lot of questions, and nobody would answer him. And he goes, all you have to do is answer my questions. It's answer my questions as my job to do this. Answer my questions, and we'll be good. They didn't answer his questions. Then what they really did, because he used to be a state trooper as well, they sent state police from Connecticut all the way to Florida, knock at his door and literally threaten him. Now, him as a former state trooper, he don't take threats too lightly, you know what I mean? So now it just lit the fire under his ass. I'm like, all right, something's going on here. Why are they trying to shut me up? You know what I mean? So he submitted these FOIA requests for information, and at these court hearings, right, you have these officials at the court hearings literally violating the law. He had a bunch of people subpoenaed to go to the court, and how does the defense attorney dismiss your subpoena? How does that happen? They dismissed the helicopter pilot and several key witnesses that he wanted to get on the stand because the state police provide air support for Newtown. That was on record. The helicopter pilot, twice he subpoenaed him, and twice the defense dismissed him, which they have no, like if me and you go to court, right, against each other, and my lawyer dismissed your subpoena. You can't do that. It's against the law. But they allowed it. They didn't say nothing at all. The courts were there, and they're literally laughing at Wolfgang, literally. You know what I mean? And it was just so weird and corrupt, you know what I mean? And so all he wanted was the questions. That's it. And so they're thinking he's some kind of a whack job and everything else for doing his job asking questions. You know what I mean? And he goes, I could be wrong on anything. He told me about all of us. You know what I mean? It's like, just answer my questions. That's it.
Well,
how dare you ask questions? How dare you?
He never saw this in his whole career. He never saw this happening. And he testified in numerous states, not just Florida. I did a little background on him. He was a former Florida state trooper, U.S. Customs inspector, and he described himself as a school safety and security consultant. So, but anyway, I have the interview you did with him. I'm going to play that right now.
Dan BiDondi, InfoWarrior.com. We're in Hartford, Connecticut with Wolfgang Halbig. How you doing, sir?
Good. Thanks for coming all the way up here and taking a look at what's happening today. It is, you know what, that is the classic work in Connecticut. It's unbelievable how they play with the law. They manipulate it. They play with it. And people laugh about it. These witnesses from Connecticut, they think it's funny. I don't think it's funny. That's a filthy, deplorable-looking school. It's a toxic waste dump, and they ought to be ashamed of themselves.
I've seen them all with smiles, all wasting time purposely, so, get you out of here quick.
Well, absolutely. They're dragging it. Got the heat turned up in here. Everything they can do to make it uncomfortable. But you know what? I've got a good attorney. I love Kate Wilson. She's not afraid to ask questions, and we'll be back. And they're going to have to answer, especially the one about Connecticut State Trooper. Can you imagine? You got a state helicopter that doesn't have audio tapes or record. What kind of state troopers are these?
Yeah, I kind of found it hard to believe that the helicopter was not communicating with the officers on the ground. I mean, that was like Wow.
Well, you know what's really interesting? We actually have the flight log. Can you imagine the police chief says, "Oh, I don't know. I've never seen anything like that." That is the Connecticut State Police official flight log. And you know what it reads? To assist the Newtown Police Department in searching for suspects in the woods. Now, let me think how that works. How did the helicopter know they needed somebody? Somebody had to call them. And they lied like a dog. It's under oath.
Chief Kehoe, do you know whether or not there are any transcripts of communications for December 14, 2012 from 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. between the Newtown Police Department and the Connecticut State Police Trooper 1 helicopter?
To the best of my knowledge, there are no communications.
No communications?
That's right.
It's a game changer for America, and they ought to see it for what it is. They're playing silly games. They got attorneys who are hiding behind the truth, manipulating data. And this is the one. Did y'all hear it today? The town. Well, you know what? They painted it with a broad brush. The town covers everybody. It covers the school board, covers the police department, and all they have to do is say, the town doesn't have it. And you're supposed to be happy about it. I'm looking for custodian of records. The town is not the custodian of records, even though he writes that in there.
Do you have any reason to believe that I was not responding on behalf of the Board of Education, the town of Newtown, and the Newtown Police Department?
I do not believe.
All right.
I want the answers from the school board. I want the answers from the police department. I don't give a damn about the town. But see, that's what they're doing. They're manipulating the law.
Are you aware of any emails that may have come from school principal Don Hochsprung or her assistant school principal for the period of May 1st, 2012 through December 13th, 2012?
Michael Gray's being
the facilities department.
Ahead of his time.
Yes.
And have you reviewed those emails?
I don't quite understand the question.
Have you looked at them? Have you read them?
Of course.
Okay, so they exist.
I'm not sure.
Well, I mean, Frank can't help you with that. If you received them and you read them, then they must exist. I would think that they must exist, yes.
You testified that you did not receive a copy of the sign-on log referred to on a traffic sign posted outside the Newtown Central Elementary School on December 14, 2012, right? And the town responded that it does not have that document, right?
Right, but you have nothing. You don't have any documents. I mean,
isn't that what it says? Here's my question. Isn't that what it says? The town does not have responsive documents.
Absolutely, but you have documents from nobody.
And you just don't believe that, right?
I don't believe you. I don't trust you.
We don't believe it. We don't trust you.
The dash cam videos, I actually got the video. I got the video of Seabrook's dash cam. It actually has timestamp. They've refused to give it to me. They have it, and yet they refused. They altered. I think they tampered and altered the documents. That's a crime. Law enforcement can't do that.
And it's unbelievable. And again, they're wasting time, so they want to prolong this. Is that correct?
Absolutely. Again, they're going to drag it out. They're going to find ways to manipulate it, and I guess we just have to do a better job. Kay does a great job. I tell you what, I bless God that I found her, because she is not afraid to ask questions.
Just remind you you're under oath, but I'd like to ask you whether or not those dash cam recordings contain a date, signature, and a time stamp, as well as a listing of the police car or unit and the officer.
Could you repeat the question, please?
Do the dash cam videos typically contain a date stamp, a time, a unit, or an officer's name in the video?
Yes.
Okay. Can you tell us why there was no date stamp or time on the video shown to Mr. Halbig yesterday by your executive secretary?
What you reviewed yesterday was a copy. The best we could do to copy our in-car camera system. Should pay medium that could be viewed by you, and that was our best attempt to copy.
So if the originals had date and timestamps on them, how did those date and timestamps fall off of the copies which were given to us for viewing yesterday?
I'm not sure they did.
Did you review the...
They're embedded in that copy of the video review yesterday.
And how do you know that?
Because I viewed it.
And did you actually see them appear on the screen, superimposed on the video?
Yes.
Okay, so you did review them prior to allowing us to view them yesterday?
Yes.
And it's your testimony that there were date and timestamps on them at the time that you reviewed them?
Yes.
I'm doing this for America. I'm doing this for every parent, every grandparent. You know, we should have rights to ask questions, but not just that. We ought to be able to get the truth. We ought to be able to walk into an office and say, "I'd like to see these documents." What are they hiding? This is serious stuff. Serious. Because who else wants to say in the Hook and Air community? Nobody. It's got to stop. It's got to stop here, and it's got to stop now.
And I want to thank you for your time, Wolf, and thank you from a patriot to a patriot for your great and hard work. And folks, again, you ask the real questions, you get ignored completely. It's unreal, really is. Truth is definitely stranger than fiction. This is Dan BiDondi for InfoWars.com.
Proud of your boy.
What does this have to do with documents?
Well, because, we have never received those inspection reports, although they are subject to this appeal.
Wow. All right. Well, yeah, it was a little long, but you know that was that guy. That was that guy Wolfgang Halbig, and you know they just basically dismissed him as a kook of some kind.
Were
he was
there.
just trying to get some.
Disappear.
You know, what's up with the rubber duckies?
Oh, that was insane, man! I come out to my car and one of there were people on the roof taking pictures of us. Come out to my car, got ducks all over the place, and somebody mailed some of these ducks to Wolfgang as well. And he said him and his family got sick because he touched them, and he thinks there was poison on them. I don't know if that's true or not. I come out to my car, I had rubber ducks everywhere in my car, and it happened to be just out of the view of the camera at the courthouse. You know what I mean? Just happened to just be right out of the view, you know. And because we went to the court and to the Capitol Police, and they literally couldn't see where my car was, you know what I mean? So then later on, people posted pictures of me and my buddy Kevin up from the rooftop, you know, us on the, on the ground and everything else. And it got so weird, man. People following us around, taking pictures from my house at the time, and it just got so weird. You know what I mean? Them telling us they know where we live, which makes no sense, you know what I mean? And then I got confused. They confused me with some other people. That's website that were giving out to family members names and addresses, and they were getting harassed. I never had anything to do with that, you know what I mean? And my thing is the whole issue is because of the gun control, you know what I mean? They're sitting there attacking the very Second Amendment that would have saved the kids' lives in the first place, you know? And, if they would have had armed guards or something at that school, that would have never happened, you know what I mean? And why, they chose one of the only gun-free schools, no guards or nothing, is beyond me, Adam Lands or whatever the case. And but the thing is that they don't want you asking questions. And regardless of what happened, if kids died, kids didn't die, whatever the case, okay, regardless, okay, we as an American, especially in the press, the power, the right, the freedom of speech, freedom of the press, and all that stuff, we have a First Amendment to ask these questions. And if they're wrong, tell us. We're wrong, show us. I'll never more. You kidding me? I would love to be wrong about that, you know what I mean? But just show us, tell us, and and that's it, you know what I mean? Same thing. Wolfgang said the same thing, and but to be denied your Second Amendment, your First Amendment at that, that's what it's about. This whole lawsuit is about. It's nothing to do with kids, nothing to do with the parents of Newtown, okay? And all it's about is shutting down free speech. That's all it's about. They figure if they could use Alex, because that's what the whole court, it's them versus Alex Jones. You see it on the paper there. They figure if they could shut Alex Jones down, they could shut down free speech. And that's what they're doing. Yep. In the meantime, the political side's attacking the Second Amendment. So you got a 1-2 punch against the First and Second Amendment that they're utilizing this crisis to attack the First and Second Amendment. You know what I mean? And I did my best, man. When they were pushing this gun control sweeping through Connecticut, New York, New Jersey, different parts, Massachusetts fell right into it too. Us here in Rhode Island, I was a big part of stopping gun control from happening in the state. You know what
Very
I mean?
true, Dan.
They were ready to go after ammunition, multiple magazines, AR-15s and all that. We did everything in our power. We were very successful in stopping gun control here in literal Rhode Island. You know what I mean? Plain and simple. Connecticut folded. Massachusetts folded completely to this Orwellian gun control stuff. And we fought tooth and nail, man. And that's what we need to keep doing. And this whole lawsuit, that's the whole thing about, because these people are sue happy. They're trying to sue Bushmaster. I mean, come on, really? So the cars that kill kids every day, more than guns ever could. Why aren't you suing Nissan or Toyota or Pontiac? Why aren't you suing General Motors?
How about
Why you go after Bushmaster?
No, McDonald's, McDonald's, Burger King. How about that? They want to talk about, controlling the outcomes of everything in your life. Hey, might as well go after the McDonald's and BK. I'm not sure, but I think they're not organic. They don't use wholesome ingredients.
They have the Impossible Burger, though.
Yeah, it's impossibly saturated with sodium.
Yeah,
and, come on.
It really is.
Burger King is here from Miami, dude. Calm down. Pick a different corporation.
Oh, geez, Louise. I don't know. Why? All the corporations have betrayed us. And Dan, tell me if I'm wrong. And this is something that I noticed from the spokesperson for Mr. Joe Biden, Pentaki, Little Miss Orphan Annie, kind of to me. She was saying basically that the administration is working with big tech, Facebook, our friends at YouTube, our friends at Twitter, and said they're going to be working with them to give them lists, lists, suggestions on who to cancel, because for some apparent reason it might not be towing the line that they're trying to spew. And if you can't...
a threat against them.
Yeah, you can't...
We're a threat against them, and they want us to stifle free speech. They don't want the independent journalism. They want you to be the mainstream Mongols and to tell people lies. So we're breaking through those lies. We had very much success breaking through these lies, man, and exposing the mainstream media, the Mockingbird media, for what it really is. We've been really hardballing this, man, and they hate the fact that we're able to dig for our own and expose the man behind the curtain, like the Wizard of Oz. When I was that video you showed, right? When I was bullhorning.
Okay. Yep. Oh yeah, that's so hilarious. Behind CNN.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I was behind the scenes. All the networks are there. I watched doing their nightly news shows, and the people on the other side. Nobody was behind this side, right? And it's like the best way to describe it is like when the Wizard of Oz, when the dog removed the curtain, showed the old man behind the curtain pulling the strings. That's exactly what it was. Everybody's reading from these scripts that the teleprompters are hidden from, because they got this thing under the camera. And they got these flaps so people can't see it. Or they're reading from that or their phone. Nowadays they do from the phone now. They read the script right from the phone or the teleprompter. It's all staged. It's all choreographed. You know what I mean? And the media. And when you come out with a person that asking real questions, I mean, these people had no clue what the hell happened to them. We hit them some hardball questions like, whoa, where the hell did that come from? You know what I mean? And that's why I just derailed the press conferences, because they couldn't understand, this kind of, what a real journalist is supposed to do is ask the hardball questions. You know what I mean? Not just to show up, oh, look at me, I'm at the Boston Marathon press conference, or I'm at the Sandy Hook FOIA hearing. No, I'm here to ask questions. I mean, they're not going to be pretty questions. And if you can answer them, like when I asked them what about all these questions, if they would have answered me and showed me proof, that would have been it. Okay, answer solid, bottom line. But when you hide from it, you don't answer it, you show ignorance, that shows guilt, plain and simple. So that's what we do. You know what I mean? Let's go after these people to expose the corruption, and most of the public can see this. You know what I mean?
And we need
see the manipulation.
We need people like you and like Project Veritas, as like my son would say, Joe Biden. I could only imagine you trying to ask him a question, and I could only imagine the cluster F of the response we would get, because that guy is like more of a zombie than a human being right now. And the media does not ask him any kind of questions. It's just not even softball.
You see all the one for his wife, all the glamour?
Oh, glamour.
Yeah, all the glamour articles. And it's
she would be better served like selling caskets, but
that they didn't have First Lady Melania in any of these.
Of course not.
These periodicals.
No.
It's pretty insulting. But
because
listen,
she's an immigrant.
Back to Dan's life, his resume, his body of work.
Correct.
Yes, he mentioned it before, and he was talking about guns. He did get into the gun thing and fight for that a lot. And let me play a little video montage
Rhode Island, right?
about it happened in Rhode Island now. Dan, yep. What's the deal with this? You had like 300,000 views on one video from when you were testifying at the Rhode Island. Was it the State House?
Senate.
There? Yeah.
Or the
that was the Senate or whatever? Or how did that? Let me play this and then we'll talk about it. Here we go.
FadEnzo.com.
Thank you, sir. Good evening and welcome.
Thank you for the opportunity to speak. And but what I want to say is going to be very extremely serious, and I need the attention of everybody here because I grew up here in Rhode Island. My family dates back all the way to the Revolutionary War. I had family who fought with George Washington in the Revolution, and I know American history very well, extremely well. Grew up with everybody in my house had guns, military and everything. And as a young age, I knew how to field strip a weapon and knew how to respect the weapon. And I'm about done. I just encourage you to stand for the Constitution and the American people, because we will resist any laws, I'm telling you right now. And those of you who do vote for these bills, one way or another, make no mistake about it, we the people, that's who has the power, we the people make sure those people will be held accountable before treason. And that needs to be understood and understand, because people thought we were a joke back in 1775. Thought we were a big joke, a little percent, 2 or 3% of people did nothing. We beat the world's strongest army, the most armed army, and today we have in this country well over 60-70% of America that's ticked off and awake right now. So we are that close, and nobody wants that. We want to do this civilly, like we're doing here, all of us meeting together, talking civilly. But we need to understand the Constitution comes first, and when you start tampering the Second Amendment, like you've been doing, that's why all hell is breaking loose. And when you learn to lead, like you have a right to bear arms, you have a right to bear arms, all of you do. Who the heck is the state to say you can't? That's not what the Constitution says. The state does what we tell you to do. Plain and simple. We elect you. We are the people. We're the bosses. You do what the majority does. And clearly, and I got it on video and everything, clearly, we are the majority here. We just want to be left alone. We're law-abiding citizens. And like hell and over dead bodies, we will ever give up our firearms.
Thank you very much. Any questions or comments for this witness? Thank you. Sir, good evening and welcome.
Talk with your legislators and tell them that every child in Rhode Island is precious and deserves safety. Thank you. Amen.
How you doing, sir?
Hi, I'm good. How are you?
Nice to meet you, sir. I'm just got some questions. How do these gun bills take the guns away from criminals?
I have to go up.
See, they can't answer the questions. You ever hear the Second Amendment, sir? Shall not be infringed.
Have you ever heard of the 10 Commandments?
Yes, I did. It says, "Thou shalt not murder." No, thou shalt not murder. Get the Bible right, sir. Do you testify for abortion?
Who are you?
I'm Ron Valaket. I was here last week testifying against abortion.
Hi, Ron. How are you?
Yeah, you testified for abortion.
FadEnzo.com.
Look, I have no interest in talking to you.
Sir, you're supposed to be for God, but you murder people?
I have no interest in talking to you.
So you support murdering people?
For homosexual marriage.
You're homosexual, you're supposed to be a man of God? Why don't you read your Bible, sir? You told me about the 10 Commandments, you should read them yourself. Yeah, and try reading the Constitution, too. Yeah, look at you. Yeah. What church do you go to? So I can tell people not to go. Because you're a shill. You're a demon, sir. You testify for murder?
Why don't you hassle somebody else?
Yeah, why don't you read the Word of God called the Bible, not your catechism, all right?
So we disagree.
Yeah, why don't you go murder some more kids? You're supposed to be a man of God. You should be condemned. How come you won't answer the question, sir?
I have no interest in talking to you. Go away.
No, I think you're being...
Go away.
A man of God don't support abortion and gay rights.
Actually,
go away.
Not the Bible and the Constitution. The Bible. You don't support the Bible?
Not the Bible. The Bible is for not killing children, babies. He's for killing babies.
I don't think you guys make any sense.
Well, it makes a lot of sense. It's called murder. He supports abortion.
Aye.
I know in your communist world, it's hate crimes. I talk about this. The typical libtard. Support the Constitution, so you should read it once in a while.
Your boy. I love it when that guy comes up and gives you the high five. So yeah, but and I could play some other stuff. I mean, there's you did a lot of stuff with guns. You did like another InfoWars gun control video with this is you did a little montage here.
Semi-automatic. Shouldn't be available to the local public.
You talked to a bunch of different people in Boston.
Because I live in the Western End.
Was that
play the one with the senator telling me to go F myself?
Oh, I'm going to get in there. Hold on. Wait 1 sec. We're going down the line here.
Half hour.
You got to go at half an hour?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Yeah. Well,
so if you want to play just the senator one, then we could talk about because that was the biggest one. I mean,
that's basically next though. That's the next thing we're going to talk about is people talking shit. Okay. But I wanted to talk about this really quick though about the guns thing though. Your people fought in the revolution. Is that true?
Yeah. Well, my mother's side, Wampanoag Indians, and my chief, well, he's passed away now. He had a deed from George Washington. And in allegiance for them fighting in the war with them, they were given the main reservation back, which George Washington at the time, the General George Washington, gave them the deed back of their reservation. I mean, there's a lot of hidden history that is not told about how Washington, a lot of Indians and black folks and also Mexicans served on his army. And Washington very much well repaid them. And of course they cloud the history and try to make him look bad and everything else as a slave master and all that. Highly from the truth, man. And my ancestors fought in that. They were in the King Philip War, that's even before we were colonized. When we first got colonized, I'm sorry. And also the Revolutionary War, then, of course, the World Wars and everything else. And
that's awesome. Now, all right, so because you don't want to stay on here for like 3 hours, like doing a Joe Rogan podcast, I will...
I wouldn't mind. If I didn't have to work, I could go all night, man.
Okay. Listen, you're awesome. You're so gracious with your time, and I really appreciate you. So what I'm going to do is, I'm going to strike I was going to talk to you about your political stance a little bit more, about your run for office, and I was going to talk to you a little bit about religion, Yeshua, Revelations, fake Jews in Israel, things like that. But I'm going to bypass that because I want to talk about people talking shit. Because why do leftist journalists feel entitled to verbally berate with expletives too, non-leftist journalists? I just found it pretty crazy, man. If you really watch, if you look into Dan BiDondi here, he has an entire, it's so crazy. This website, the Daily Banter, they basically stalk you. Hold on 1 second. Let me show these people this. Please. It's fucking crazy. Look at this. There's an entire, section. If you just Google in this website, Dan BiDondi, there's numerous articles talking mad shit about him. And it's so crazy. I've never seen so much hate. Bobby. And it's all done by this one guy, Che Pazienza, who, I don't know if you're aware of this. Are you aware that he actually passed away?
Yes, he co-hosted a show called The Bob and Ches Show, and both of them run with the Daily Banter. And I was on the show actually too.
Yes, you were. I listened to the entire thing.
Yeah. So
all they did was they just talk. All they did was, this is the one thing about that show he was on. He was on the show with them, the podcast with them. The two co-hosts. One of the co-hosts passed away in 2017.
As a guest,
actually,
right?
He was from Miami. I think he's Cuban heritage, but he was a really good writer, man. Actually worked for CNN. I did all the research into him because I couldn't believe he hated BiDondi so much. He really hated you so much, or whatever. He would always pick you apart and write all these crazy articles about you. But he actually, what's so ironic is he got kicked off CNN for doing blogs on the side. Did you know that?
That's
yep.
Yeah.
And, when he passed away, I read I read a little nice statement, and it derailed this show. And I actually, him and the Bob and Chez show, okay, I had a lot of their listeners come to me because I showed humility. And that would have been time to attack and kick him when it's down. When he passed away, I forget what I said. It was a nice statement, or whatever the case. And it's like, regardless of our differences, he's still a human being, that stuff. God bless him, you know what I mean? And
look at this, though. CNN producer says he was fired for blogging. See that?
Yeah.
He was dealing with the same shit we deal with, and he was choosing sides and stuff and going after this guy, for not even about what Dan said either. It was about how he delivered his message. It was always picking apart, because
of the politics,
the way he talks, his New England accent and stuff. But they totally dismiss his actual, the meat and potatoes of what he was talking about. And they would always say the same thing. They would talk about this Christopher Hedges quote, Christopher Hitchens quote, Hitchens razor. And basically Hitchens razor, what that is, it just says that that which can be asserted without evidence can be dismissed without evidence. So anytime he brought anything up, they would just say, I just dismiss it every time. It's so crazy. Yeah. What a horrible, disingenuous, not even intellectually honest way to approach stuff. And I don't want to be crazy, man, but the guy, he got karma. And that was karma, man.
He got what he deserved.
It's messed up, but he had some karma happening. This guy. I mean, it's really sad. He took the negative after that happened. He should have taken the positive route, but he really. If you search online on Dan BiDondi and look at the Daily Banter, you'll see a lot of crazy, just nitpicking articles about him. But I do
the Daily Banter, the Bob and Chez show, Echoplex Media. They literally, they base all the content around me, Alex Jones, and Madison Star Movie. Literally. They run my show on Friday nights. I'll, try to simulcast the show. That's why I changed it to later on. And they'll simulcast the show, and they get, 10 listeners. And they'll sit there and, try to, make fun of you. That's it. They have nothing to back their statements up. Oh, he's wrong. Well, how am I wrong? They can't prove it. You know what I mean? And, that's what they do. They live, the whole show's, it's all smut. It's all based around attacking an individual.
That's how liberals really are like that. I was a liberal, and I thought like that too.
And they live rent free. They live rent free.
Mm-hmm, they do. And
Dan
I was
BiDondi's
thinking back to when I was a liberal, and I would probably argue like that because I really wouldn't have the knowledge. And so I would probably attack the person.
It's very emotional based. I noticed the liberal arguments are very emotional, non-factual.
Yep.
Nowadays, if you bring up a fact, it could actually be deemed racist.
Yep. But before Dan BiDondi leaves us, let me play this little thing.
And talk a little bit. Could you talk a little bit of what he's doing now?
Yes.
A little bit now,
after that, we will. And then we're going to wind down. We're going to talk about what he's doing now, and then we're going to wind down after this. People talking shit. These liberals are crazy, man. They just tear people apart.
How do these gun laws take the guns from criminals?
In one mouth, and you think you have two mouths in one ear.
I got three mouths, actually.
You got a computer.
No answers, of course.
The majority is outside, though. The numbers.
Yeah, the Second Amendment shall not be infringed. You people need to understand that. Yeah.
Go fuck yourself.
Good comment, sir. Thank you.
Yeah.
Majority's outside.
Go fuck yourself.
Good comment, sir.
The majority's outside.
Go fuck yourself.
Good comment, sir. Thank you.
Yeah.
Majority's outside.
Go fuck yourself.
Good comment, sir.
Go fuck yourself.
Good comment, sir. Thank you.
Yeah. Go fuck yourself.
Good comment, sir.
Tell me what it is.
Dude, don't put your camera in my face, because
I'm not putting it in your face. It's nowhere near you. I don't care, dude. This is my neighborhood. Who the fuck are you?
We're here trying to...
You're trying to what? You're trying to put more right-wing conspiracy theories? You're not covering what's going on here. Your boy said this was a false flag. The bomb that blew up people was a false flag. What is that supposed to mean? No, the FBI's behind the bombing. That's what you're here to cover. And that's why I'm the asshole. Because the FBI blew up those people at the Boston Marathon. That's right. That's because you're a dope. And what you say is dangerous, and people like you shouldn't be able to drive a car, much less espouse your opinions in public. But we have a First Amendment, we got to protect it. But you're an asshole, and so's Alex Jones.
Thank you.
You're welcome. And that's the nicest thing I can say about you, you son of a bitch. Yeah.
Anything else you got to say?
Yeah, I just said it.
Yeah,
motherfucker.
keep going.
Yeah, I'll keep going.
Yeah, come on.
Good. Wait for you to say something come out of your fucking mouth
Didn't
that isn't
happen when I was
retarded.
growing up.
You're on camera everywhere.
I don't give a fuck.
You're the smart guy. Yeah, tell
I am the smart guy. Because I'm not standing there saying the FBI blew up the people at the Boston Marathon, you fucking shitheel. I'm not telling people the FBI blew up the Boston Marathon, but you're saying that. So why don't you tell everybody you're saying that? Because I don't care who thinks, I don't care if people think I'm an asshole. I'm not saying the FBI blew up innocent people. You're saying that. And that's what makes you a dumbass.
Oh, yeah?
So there you go.
Oh, yeah.
Now, why are you in my fucking neighborhood?
Because I want to be.
Yeah. You're unwelcome in this motherfucking neighborhood. Yeah. Go tell everybody what you think. Tell everybody the FBI blew up the Boston Marathon. No, you just said the FBI blew up the Boston Marathon. So why don't you own it and stop being a pussy?
Oh, yeah, I did say that.
Don't be a pussy, dude. Tell everybody. I'm sure everybody here loves to hear that the fucking FBI blew up the Boston Marathon. You dumbass.
We got the photos of proof.
We got the photos of... You got shit. You got jack shit. You got your dick in your hand. That's what you got.
At least he has.
You fucking asshat.
Can I ask a question?
Sure.
Can you explain why is this so I can use it? Can you explain me, because I am a common person that don't understand.
What do you want me to explain?
Explain me why you insulted this guy.
Because he said the FBI blew up the Boston Marathon. That's retarded.
You're insulting somebody.
What's that man? And you're a mumble mouth. That's what he thinks. He just said it. Don't take it back now, you son of a bitch.
Talk to me.
Own it.
Explain it for other people. So
He's a nudnik. He's a right-wing conspiracy nudnik. This guy is dangerous. He doesn't belong here in Cambridge where people have half a fucking brain. He belongs crawled up someone's ass in Alabama.
I'm sorry to the point, man.
Dude, whatever. Just keep running your piss flaps.
What else you got to say?
Dude, that's why I've already used that line on you. How dare you? You're using my material now? You fucking unoriginal son of a bitch.
Just go.
I know you don't have an original thought in your brain, so don't try now. It's like watching a 5-year-old try to read. It's embarrassing. You ought to be ashamed.
He walks with God.
That's cool.
To have that patience to deal with that person.
Is your child from Cambridge?
No.
Okay.
You're drinking your Floyd.
You're drinking your Floyd. You drink a dick, dude. Go ahead. Go ahead. Look for a kid to hide behind. You bastard. How dare you? You should be ashamed. Go look at their conspiracy bullshit. Look at your fake pictures. Alex Jones is, what is he? He's your Jim Jones, is what he is.
Yeah. No need for this night.
Enzo.com.
I got to give it to him. He had a really cool line at the end. You know, it's Alex Jones is your Jim Jones. It's kind of funny, but you know, that guy is a total scum. And all these people are all the same. They all do that. And by the way, I appreciate the use of the word scum and watching, you know, some of your reports. And I hear you saying it. It's hilarious.
No, if I could, I have to interject.
What?
And just make an observation.
Mm-hmm.
These people talk this way because it seems when they were growing up, they were never taught respect. And to talk to a man like that, when I was growing up, I'm sorry, I'm not going to, because I know we're live, I would have the crap kicked in. I would have the crap kicked in or kicked out of myself and correct myself. And these people are getting away, you know, they want to limit your free speech, but they insult you in a way.
They don't limit theirs.
Of course.
It's the same thing as the Antifa we were talking, you know, we're watching on the beginning of the show. They're opening up, you know, umbrellas. They're touching him physically. And then they're saying, you're inciting this. It's backwards thinking. What is going on? And then the cops like allow it. What the, you know,
Yeah.
but it's the same thing with the shit talking. Like they're going after the shit talking and saying all this stuff and provoking everything, you know, but then they're going to he's essentially criticizing him for his free speech at the same time, right? Correct. He's talking to him about a report he did, but at the same time, berating him with all these expletives and stuff like that.
The questions that he was asking were not, approved by the directorate. I'll just leave it like that. George Orwell, 1984.
Mm-hmm. You know that kid actually got a hold of me?
What kid?
That kid? His name is Roger. He actually found me on Facebook and apologized to me.
Get out of here.
And,
no way.
Yeah, me and him ended up talking, and we had a long conversation. He had some misinformation, and that set him off because he thought we were saying that because the kid that died, he knew that kid, you know what I mean? That's what set him off. He thought we said that kid never died, you know what I mean?
Wow.
He goes, that's the only thing that set me off. He goes, I don't mind you questioning things, whatever the case. He goes, I don't know if the guy, he said, honestly, I don't know, who knows with the FBI, but he goes, what set me off, because I honestly thought you guys, I didn't say that. I had no clue about that, you know what I mean? And so we actually we called each other on the phone, had a very intelligent conversation and all that stuff. And so he turned out to be a decent guy. And I mean, he was just all hopped up because, and I say, I 100% understand you. If you got some reporter coming in saying that that's what the whole thing was about, you know what I mean? Because that he was very close to that little girl, you know what I mean? And he thought we were saying that she didn't die. It was all fake, you know what I mean? I'm like, no, I never said any such thing, you know what I mean? And so we cleared that matter up, and once in a while he'll message me on Twitter or something. And, he's a generally nice guy. I mean, even though he's got opposing views, but he actually invited me out to coffee sometime if I'm ever in the area. So we talk here and there. And about that jerk, or the a-hole there, that told me to go F myself, that was a Rhode Island State Senator, Josh Miller. That guy's behind, his name is on every gun control bill every time gun control comes up. Yeah, I mean, that guy's a complete swine bag.
Yeah, he is. And the fact that these people, they're always doing the same thing. All these people on the left always have horrible manners and no morals and no ethics, kind of, they're willing to stoop to the level of having no ethics, always.
They're animals.
Why?
Because, for me, because they don't have any foundation and any kind of belief in a higher being. No. For me, they don't believe in God. So you're brought up that way. You're going to act more like an animal if they're telling you come from an animal. That's all. I was even if it was Catholic, or we could get into the Christianity thing. There was more religion, false or not. There was at least a veneer of some kind of moral decency. Nowadays, if you have moral decency, you're looked upon like you're someone limiting someone's lifestyle, their choices. Nothing to do with it. Nothing to do with it. Now, if you have no morals, no foundation, no limits, they're the perfect example. Mm-hmm. Even if I hate someone, I'm not going to go off like this gentleman disrespected you. And let me tell you, I mean, I don't have your patience. I am working on it. I have to get there. But God bless you, the patience that he had with this gentleman without punching him in the face and just man,
I was that close. And the only thing stopped because when I got out of the car that day, right away I had 3 FBI agents literally eyeing me like a hawk. And I thought they were going to try to, what was going through my mind is they're going to try to provoke me into something.
Yeah.
And I had some issue with some cops in that meantime too. So in my mind, I thought this guy was being set up to provoke me, and I'm biting my tongue the whole time. I'm like, you know what? I'll shut up. You know what I mean? And of course, his video didn't show the
30 minutes. Is that the 30 minutes?
Telling him to shut up. You know what I mean? And so you know what I mean? That's the case. And so what happened with the Senator Josh Miller told me to go F myself. Right? It was great. And as soon as he said that, and people said, "Why didn't you punch him?" First of all, tell me to go off myself. I knew this was gold, okay? And I'm like, I just smiled at him, saying thank you. And so I went home and I posted the video. I did a quick edit, posted it. And Sean Spicer, he was Trump's press secretary at the time. Mm-hmm. Sean Spicer immediately seen us, okay? Not at the time. I mean, he became, whatever the case. But Sean Spicer seen my tweet. Sean Spicer retweeted, "Whoa, RI State Senator tell gun rights supporter go after themselves." It went mega viral. So I got calls from every news station all over the place, want to interview and everything else, and they try to get a hold of him. So literally, this guy, this clown here, the senator, He owns a bar, a couple restaurants here in Rhode Island, and he's tied in with the unions. They had to shut all his phones down. All his social media down, his phones, because people from all over the country are calling him, messaging to tell him to go F himself. Because that was like telling every Second Amendment supporter out there to go F yourself. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And he had to apologize, but he never directly apologized to me. And yeah, it was funny though, because and I'm like, oh, when I seen him again. So, oh, you thought we were a joke, huh? It's like, I put you on national TV. It's like, name one fake news in Rhode Island that could do that. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? And so for a while, the Rhode Island news thought I was just joke. You know what I mean? Things like this happen. I made national news like literally every year. I made the top 10 conspiracy theories of all time with the false flag thing. It's kind of crazy. It was a Sun magazine. It was funny. And I take that as a badge of honor, man. But yeah. So,
what does your family think about this, all this stuff?
Man, it affected their
at first
family.
they were very, like, I lost a lot of family over that at the time. They didn't understand.
I mean, the whole thing, like you in the limelight and stuff like that, doing all this reporting and things like that. What do they think about it?
Yeah, they like, oh, wow, he's like, you're crazy for being on TV like this. And I'm not crazy. I'm just trying to do my part and save this country. And I mean, do God's work and everything. And, it's... And
so what are you doing right now? So you have the truthradioShow.com, and it's the Dan BiDondi show, right?
BiDondi.
BiDondi. And I'm a guinea too. So my name's Robert Piccarillo. I go by Bobby Pickles though. But yeah, your name is an interesting name. It's a good guinea name, good solid guinea name. You never thought of going by a nickname or something like that?
No, there's actually only 5 of us in the entire country with that exact spelling.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
It's crazy, man. I did the ancestry checks and everything, and they can't even trace it back, because I'm coming to find out my grandfather, when my grandfather on my father's side moved him and my grandmother, I don't know what their last name was. They, for some reason, whatever happened, the government gave him a new name. You know what I mean? And for some reason, how this name came about, but there's literally only 5 of us in this country. You know what I mean?
Wow.
And
cool.
With the family here. That's it.
It's crazy, man. So what do you? So tell me about the show that you do. You do it constantly. You do it every week. How many days a week do you do it?
And with now you see TV.
Monday, Wednesday, and Thursday. No, sorry. Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and I do the Dan BiDondi show on Friday late nights, and also sporadically here and there. And I co-host on the Cutting Edge a lot with John Hall and Nice TV. I work with Nice TV as well. We do stuff together. I'm on their shows, they're on my shows, and we help promote each other. So it's the Cutting Edge, the Midnight Ride, FOJC Radio, the Rep and the Restoration, all these cool shows that we all put together. And for Now You See TV, NYCTV.org. And so we all work together for the Lord, you know what I mean? And we just follow Jesus Christ and try to bring witness. So now, by the way, when I was going up I want to tell you this was really cool too.
Mm-hmm.
Alex Jones called me at the time of the Boston Marathon. I was asleep when it happened. And he goes, hey, how far are you away from Boston? I'm like, well, maybe a half hour. I'm like, why? He goes, you hear about the bomb going off? I'm like, no, not at all. He goes, get in the car. I'll tell you what's going on. Get your stuff. So I'm going up there not knowing anything. I'm on the highway, and I get this awesome this revelation. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I knew it was something important. I didn't know what it was, whatever the case. Just felt historic. You know what I mean? And I felt the comfort of God with me. And then, of course, we all talked about just what all happened and everything else. We literally changed the course of history from doing what we did. You know what I mean? And, of course, I got a lot of backlash over that, too, from family. I mean, I was it was a living hell for a couple of years. And so, when you punch the New World Order in the face, Satan in his face, he's going to come back with some backlash, but only what God allows you to handle. But it made me a stronger person and everything else.
Yeah. So were you raised Catholic, being Italian, American?
Up until about 15, then we converted over to, because my mother and father both started saying things that were not biblical in the Catholic Church. So we became Baptists and Christians. And long story short, I got in the occult for a while when I was younger, this and the other thing. And long story short, I ended up I don't belong to any religion. I follow Jesus Christ, Yeshua Messiah, God, and the Bible directly. You know what I mean? With no religious filter. Nope. And man, you can learn this Bible so much more better than sitting in the church for 5 years and 6 months alone on your own with the power of the Holy Spirit. You can learn this scripture far greater than any church could teach you. Because I tell people all the time, you get these ministers out there, they brag about, I got a master's in theology, religion. None of that matters. You know what I mean? Because only the Holy Spirit could write that up.
Who's this guy, Lord Stephen? There's some dude, Lord Stephen, who he had you on. You called him or something like that. He says he's the son of God. He's just some YouTuber guy.
Oh, yeah. All right, yeah, that guy. I ended up talking to his father because I called him, and his father answered the phone. I guess his father told me that he went batshit crazy because he got divorced, and I kind of felt bad for the guy. But yeah, he thinks he's Jesus in the flesh. He flipped his lid, literally. You know what I mean? And so I said, I stopped communication. So I told the guy, I said, I'm not going to call your house no more because out of respect for you. And because we were calling back and forth, and he was starting a lot of trouble, but it's like, just pray for the guy, that's all. And so that ended there, but this guy was like constantly on me all the time,
Mm-hmm. All right. Well, there we have it. We did a Bobby Pickles podcast, and I think we covered a lot of stuff of the Bionic Dan BiDondi. How'd you like it? Everything good? Huh?
Yeah, if you want me back on again, let me know.
Absolutely.
I would love to. And then that time we could just talk about current events and stuff, just kind of chill. I'd love to have you on maybe as a panel guest or something like that. Yeah. I do that sometimes. But guys, please, if you want to support BiDondi's work, my work, the most important thing to do is because a lot of people get canceled and they have a hard time getting the word out that they have a show or whatever. Please, if you're still on some of these communist social media platforms, share this show, like the show, because there's a nerd at Google sitting in a back room with cum crust stains on his pants, deciding who wins or loses in life because he learned how to code while living in his mommy's basement. So don't let that guy win, all right? Please share this. Thank you so much, Dan BiDondi, for being on. I really appreciate you, brother.
Thank you, Big Dan.
Thank you, man. Check it out, truthradioshow.com and for more Dan BiDondi. And this has been episode 196 of Bobby Pickles Podcast, baby. See you later.
That's me. With that look on his face, he'll talk about anything. Outstanding. Tattoos, t-shirts, politics, history, and hot talk on everything. Bobby Pickles. Pop culture, documentaries, conspiracy theories, sarcasm, and fear. It's a conversation, start listening, cause we're all here. Bobby Pickles Podcast. That's me. Proud of your boy.